Think Thailand is just about beaches and pad Thai? You won't believe what I discovered about this country. Wait until you find out that stepping on Thai money can land you in prison for 15 years, or how they have an entire province where women wear brass neck coils that can weigh 22 pounds. Here's the scary part. Some of these facts will completely change how you see this land of smiles. Number 15. Thailand has more than 35,000 temples, but many of them house mummified monks who died in meditation poses and are displayed as religious attractions. You heard right. Visitors can pay respects to preserved Buddhist masters who achieved such spiritual enlightenment that their bodies didn't decay after death, instead becoming sacred relics that draw pilgrimage tours. The most famous is Luang Po Dang at Wat Kunaram in Koh Samui, who died in 1973 while sitting in the lotus position and remains perfectly preserved wearing sunglasses to hide his naturally mummified eyes. The preservation process is so remarkable that scientists study these bodies to understand the meditation techniques that allegedly slow decomposition rates by up to 80% compared to normal human remains. Wait until you find out the tourism aspect. These mummified monks generate millions in temple donations annually, with some locations charging 100 baht entrance fees and selling blessed amulets made from the monks' hair and nail clippings. Think this sounds morbid? Thai Buddhists consider viewing these preserved masters as receiving direct blessings, and touching the glass cases is believed to transfer spiritual merit that can improve karma for 7 generations. Here's the funny part. Tourists often mistake these displays for Halloween decorations, until they realize they're looking at actual human remains that have been sitting in meditation pose for decades, creating some of the most awkward photo opportunities in Southeast Asian tourism. Number 14. It's illegal to step on Thai money because every bill and coin features the king's image, and foreigners regularly get arrested and sentenced to up to 15 years in prison for this crime. Sounds unbelievable, but Thailand's lèse-majesté laws are so strict that even accidentally dropping money and stepping on it while picking it up can result in criminal charges that carry longer sentences than armed robbery in most Western countries. American Joe Gordon was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison just for translating and posting excerpts from a banned biography of the Thai king on his Facebook page while living in Colorado. The law is so extreme that Thai police have arrested people for liking Facebook posts that criticize the monarchy, and even discussing the law itself in detail can be considered a violation. Here's the scary part about enforcement. Thailand has special cybercrime units that monitor social media 24/7, and they've requested extradition of foreign citizens living in other countries for posts made outside Thailand. You heard right. There are currently over 1,800 people serving prison sentences in Thailand for lèse-majesté violations, including a 61-year-old man who got 35 years for sharing 4 Facebook posts. Wait until you find out how arbitrary enforcement can be. The same action might result in no charges, a warning, or decades in prison depending on the political climate and whether someone decides to file a complaint. The most terrifying aspect is that any Thai citizen can file lèse-majesté charges against anyone else, creating a system where personal vendettas can destroy lives using laws originally designed to protect royal dignity. Number 13. Thai women in the Kayan tribe wear brass neck coils weighing up to 22 pounds from childhood, creating the illusion of elongated necks that has turned them into human tourist attractions. Think this practice died out centuries ago? Think again. Over 40,000 tourists annually visit villages in northern Thailand specifically to photograph these giraffe women, paying entrance fees that generate more income than any other single attraction in the region. The brass coils don't actually stretch the neck, they push down the collarbones and compress the rib cage, creating a deformation that becomes permanent after years of wear, and makes removing the coils potentially life-threatening due to weakened neck muscles. You won't believe the economic reality. These women can earn $200 to $300 monthly from tourist photos, which is 5 times more than typical rural Thai incomes, but they're essentially trapped in human zoos where their cultural tradition has become a commercial commodity. Here's the heartbreaking part. Young girls as young as 5 years old begin wearing starter coils, and the decision is often made by families who need the tourist income rather than cultural preservation. The weight increases gradually until adult women carry the equivalent of a bowling ball around their necks 24/7, causing chronic pain, difficulty sleeping, and restricted movement that tourists rarely witness. Wait until you find out the ethical controversy. Human rights organizations call these villages human safaris, where indigenous people are exploited for entertainment. yet the women themselves often defend the practice because it provides their only path out of extreme poverty in regions where traditional agriculture can't support families. Number 12. Thailand's royal family owns assets worth over $60 billion, making them the richest monarchy in the world, yet about 1/4 of Thai children live below the poverty line on less than $2 per day. Sounds like figures from different planets, but the Crown Property Bureau controls land holdings throughout Bangkok worth an estimated $40 billion alone, including prime real estate where global corporations pay millions annually in rent directly to the royal family. King Maha Vajiralongkorn personally owns a portfolio of stocks, real estate and businesses that generates more passive income daily than most Thai families see in their entire lifetimes. While teachers in rural provinces earn $300 monthly and often work second jobs just to survive. The contrast is staggering when you see the Golden Palace complex that costs $500 million to maintain annually, while public hospitals lack basic equipment and rural schools operate with dirt floors and no electricity. Here's where it gets surreal. The king owns multiple private jets worth $400 million combined, including a Boeing 737 painted in royal gold that costs more than the annual education budget for 3 entire provinces. You heard right. Royal ceremonies can cost $50 to $100 million for single events, while millions of Thai citizens don't have access to clean drinking water or basic health care. Wait until you find out the spending specifics. The king's personal wardrobe budget exceeds $10 million annually, and he owns over 38 luxury cars, including custom Rolls-Royces that individually cost more than most Thais will earn in 50 lifetimes. The most shocking disparity is that discussing this wealth inequality in public can result in prison sentences under lèse-majesté laws, creating a system where criticizing poverty is legal, but mentioning royal wealth is a crime punishable by decades behind bars. Number 11. Thai men can legally abandon their families by becoming Buddhist monks for as little as 1 week, automatically dissolving financial responsibilities and leaving wives with no legal recourse for child support. You heard right. The traditional practice of temporary ordination allows any Thai male to enter monkhood and emerge days or weeks later with their previous legal obligations essentially erased, including debt, alimony, and child support payments. This loophole in Thai family law means that over 15,000 men annually use monkhood as an escape route from financial responsibilities, often timing their ordination strategically during divorce proceedings or when creditors are pursuing them. The process costs less than $50 and requires no background checks, psychological evaluation, or genuine religious commitment, just a willingness to shave your head and wear robes until the legal heat dies down. Here's the funny part about how easy it is. Some temples near courthouses advertise express ordination services and offer package deals that include robes, basic Buddhist instruction, and legal advice about timing the process for maximum protection from lawsuits. Wait until you find out the scale of abuse. Women's rights organizations estimate that 30% of temporary ordinations are motivated primarily by avoiding financial responsibilities rather than spiritual development, creating thousands of single mothers who lose legal standing the moment their ex-husbands enter temples. Think this system protects genuine religious practice? The same legal protection that allows authentic spiritual seekers to pursue enlightenment also enables deadbeat fathers to abandon families with zero consequences. And many temples profit from this system by charging fees that increase based on how much debt or legal trouble the applicant faces. Number 10. Thailand has over 500,000 ladyboys, or Kathaway, making up nearly 1% of the male population, and they're so integrated into society that every major department store employs them as sales staff and beauty advisors. Sounds unbelievable for a country often seen as conservative, but Thailand's acceptance of transgender people is so complete that Kathaway have their own government-issued identity cards, compete in mainstream beauty pageants, and serve openly in the military without the discrimination faced in Western countries. The economic impact is massive. Kathaway contribute over $6.5 billion annually to Thailand's economy through entertainment, beauty services, and tourism, with transgender cabaret shows in Phuket and Bangkok generating more revenue than many traditional cultural attractions. You won't believe how normalized their presence is. Major corporations like Central Department Store actively recruit Kathaway for customer service positions because they're considered more attentive, stylish, and customer-friendly than typical sales staff. Here's the fascinating part about cultural integration. Thai parents often feel proud when their Kathaway children succeed in beauty or entertainment careers, viewing it as achieving success through their natural talents rather than something to hide or cure. Wait until you find out the social dynamics. Kathoey often serve as family caretakers for elderly parents and are considered especially trustworthy with money and business responsibilities, leading to higher than average rates of business ownership and financial independence compared to other demographic groups. The most surprising aspect is how this acceptance coexists with other conservative social norms. The same culture that embraces gender fluidity also maintains strict hierarchies around age, social class, and religious observance. Think Western countries are more progressive? Thailand has been openly accepting transgender people for over 600 years, while most Western nations still struggle with basic transgender rights and recognition, making Thailand accidentally more socially advanced in this specific area than supposedly liberal democracies. Number 9. Thai students are required to sing the national anthem twice daily and bow to the king's portrait. But if you're caught not participating as a foreigner, you can be deported immediately without trial. You heard right. Every Thai school, government office, and public space plays the national anthem at exactly 8 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening, and everyone is expected to stop whatever they're doing and stand at attention for the full 1 minute and 6 seconds. Foreign tourists who continue walking, talking, or taking photos during anthem time have been arrested, detained overnight, and put on the next flight out of the country with permanent entry bans. The enforcement is so strict that shopping malls, train stations, and even outdoor markets have speakers that broadcast the anthem, and security guards actively monitor for non-compliance with the power to call immigration police immediately. Here's the scary part about how seriously this is taken. Thai children learn to recognize the opening notes from hundreds of meters away and will literally freeze mid-step when they hear it, creating surreal scenes where entire crowds of people suddenly become statues for over a minute twice daily. Wait until you find out the international incidents this has caused. American businessmen have been expelled for checking their phones during anthem time, and European backpackers have been deported for laughing during the ceremony, with Thai authorities viewing any disrespect as insulting the entire nation. The social pressure is so intense that Thai citizens will physically stop foreigners and loudly shame them for not participating, and some foreigners report feeling like they're trapped in a real-life version of a dystopian movie where everyone suddenly stops moving on command. Think this is just outdated nationalism? The practice has actually intensified in recent years, with new laws making disrespect of national symbols punishable by up to 5 years in prison, and the government has installed thousands of new speakers in public areas to ensure nobody can avoid hearing the anthem regardless of where they are in the country. Number 8. Thailand's sex industry generates $6.4 billion annually and employs over 2.8 million people. But prostitution is technically illegal and punishable by up to 1 year in prison, creating a massive underground economy that operates openly. Sounds like the world's worst-kept secret, but this legal contradiction creates a system where sex work flourishes in plain sight while maintaining official illegality that allows authorities to selectively enforce laws for political and economic purposes. The industry is so integrated into Thailand's economy that it represents approximately 3% of GDP, employing more people than the automotive and electronics industries combined, yet workers have no legal protections, labor rights, or recourse when exploited. You won't believe the scale of cognitive dissonance. Government tourism campaigns subtly promote Thailand's nightlife and entertainment districts while simultaneously running anti-prostitution campaigns funded by the same revenue streams generated by sex tourism. Here's where it gets complicated. Police regularly raid massage parlors and bars as public relations stunts, arresting sex workers who pay fines equivalent to one night's earnings and return to work the next day, while the real profiteers, property owners, corrupt officials, and organized crime face no consequences. Wait until you find out the international implications. An estimated 500,000 foreign men visit Thailand annually specifically for commercial sex, generating massive foreign currency inflows that the government desperately needs but cannot officially acknowledge or tax. The most disturbing aspect is how this system enables human trafficking and child exploitation to flourish alongside consensual adult sex work. Because the illegality means there's no regulation, age verification, or worker protection, criminals and legitimate operators use identical business models under identical legal risks. Think legalization would solve the problems? Thai authorities argue that maintaining technical illegality allows them to crack down on the worst abuses while tolerating consensual adult activities, but critics point out that this selective enforcement primarily protects wealthy operators while leaving vulnerable workers completely exposed to exploitation and violence. Number 7. Thai traffic laws require motorcyclists to wear helmets, but only the driver. Passengers can ride helmetless legally, leading to over 20,000 motorcycle deaths annually, with most fatalities being unhelmeted passengers. You heard right. Thailand has one of the world's highest motorcycle fatality rates because their safety laws make no logical sense, protecting drivers while leaving passengers completely vulnerable to head injuries that cause 73% of motorcycle deaths. The absurdity becomes clear when you see families of 4 riding single motorcycles through Bangkok traffic, with only the father wearing protection while children and mothers risk death from impacts that would be survivable with basic safety equipment. This legal loophole exists because motorcycle taxis argued that requiring passenger helmets would hurt their business model of quick transportation, and the government prioritized economic concerns over public safety, creating laws that literally value convenience over human life. Here's the scary part about enforcement. Police will ticket drivers for not wearing helmets, but ignore passenger violations happening on the same bike, creating a surreal system where half the people on each motorcycle are legally required to protect themselves, while the other half are abandoned to fate. Wait until you find out the statistical reality. Thailand records over 20,000 motorcycle deaths annually, more than gun deaths in the United States, with passenger fatalities representing 65% of deaths in accidents where drivers survive because they wore helmets while their passengers died from identical impacts. The economic cost is staggering. Motorcycle accidents consume 25% of Thailand's public healthcare budget, with most emergency room patients being helmetless passengers who require expensive brain surgery and long-term care that their families cannot afford. Think this law will change soon? Motorcycle taxi unions have successfully lobbied against passenger helmet requirements for over 15 years, arguing that carrying helmets would slow down service and reduce their competitiveness against cars and public transport, essentially trading human lives for minor convenience improvements that save customers 2 to 3 minutes per trip. Number 6. Thailand imports 90% of its rice despite being the world's second largest rice exporter, because Thai rice is too expensive for Thai people to afford, creating a bizarre system where locals eat foreign rice while their premium crops feed wealthy foreigners. Sounds completely backwards, but Thai jasmine rice costs $3 to $4 per kilogram domestically, while imported Vietnamese and Cambodian rice sells for 80 cents to $1.20, making Thailand's own signature crop a luxury item that most citizens consume only on special occasions. The economic absurdity reaches peak irony during rice harvest seasons, when Thai farmers sell their crops to export companies for premium prices, then walk to the same markets to buy cheaper imported rice for their own family's daily meals. You won't believe the scale of this upside-down market. Thailand exports $7.5 billion worth of rice annually to Japan, Europe, and wealthy Asian countries, while simultaneously importing $2.8 billion worth of lower-grade rice from poorer neighboring countries to feed its own population. Here's where it gets economically insane. Thai rice farmers often cannot afford to eat the rice they grow, instead surviving on imported grains, while their premium jasmine rice gets shipped to wealthy consumers in Tokyo and London, who pay $8 to $12 per kilogram in specialty stores. Wait until you find out the government's role in this madness. Agricultural subsidies and export promotion policies artificially inflate Thai rice prices for international competitiveness, while domestic price controls on imported rice ensure locals can afford basic nutrition, creating a two-tier system where Thailand essentially exports food security to import food affordability. The cultural impact is profound. Traditional Thai dishes that historically used locally grown jasmine rice now taste different, because most restaurants and households use cheaper imported varieties, meaning authentic Thai cuisine is becoming unaffordable in Thailand itself. Think this makes economic sense? The system generates massive export revenues that benefit agribusiness and government budgets, while simultaneously creating food apartheid, where Thai people become foreigners in their own agricultural economy, unable to afford the very products that define their national culinary identity and represent their most successful export industry. Number 5. Thailand's education system requires students to wear uniforms that cost $200 to $400 annually per child, forcing families into debt, while public schools lack basic supplies like textbooks and functioning toilets. You won't believe how backwards these priorities are. Thai families spend more on mandatory school uniforms than most rural households earn in 2 months. Yet students attend classes in buildings without electricity, clean water, or adequate bathroom facilities that would be condemned in developed countries. The uniform requirements are so specific that parents must purchase exact fabric types, button styles, and even regulation socks from approved vendors who charge premium prices for basic clothing that children outgrow within months. Here's the heartbreaking part about economic impact. Microfinance organizations report that 40% of rural family debt is directly related to education expenses, with school uniforms representing the largest single expense, more than food, transportation, or actual learning materials combined. The system forces families to choose between sending children to school properly dressed or providing adequate nutrition, leading to malnutrition rates that increase during back-to-school seasons when uniform purchases consume family food budgets. Wait until you find out the enforcement extremes. Students are regularly sent home for minor uniform violations like wrong sock colors or slightly loose shirt fits missing crucial learning time, while their families scramble to afford replacement items that can cost more than the minimum daily wage. You heard right, schools employ full-time uniform inspectors whose salaries could purchase textbooks for entire classrooms, but instead these officials spend their days measuring skirt lengths and checking button specifications, while students learn from photocopied materials because schools cannot afford actual books. The most absurd aspect is that these uniform requirements are stricter than many professional dress codes. Thai students face more clothing regulations than office workers, with detailed rules about underwear colors, hair accessories, and shoe styles that serve no educational purpose except generating revenue for uniform suppliers who often have connections to school administrators. Think this system promotes equality? The expensive uniform requirements actually worsen inequality by making education financially inaccessible to the poorest families while enriching a corrupt supply chain that prioritizes appearance over learning, creating schools that look orderly from the outside but provide substandard education due to resources being diverted from academics to enforcing arbitrary dress codes. Thai monks are forbidden from touching women or even receiving items directly from female hands, but they control temple finances worth over $15 billion, while women provide 80% of religious donations and perform most temple maintenance work. Sounds like the ultimate religious contradiction, but Thailand's Buddhist hierarchy creates a system where women fund, clean, cook for, and essentially operate temples while being treated as spiritually contaminated beings who cannot even hand a monk a glass of water without using an intermediary cloth or male relative. The financial disparity is staggering. Women contribute an estimated $12 billion annually to temple operations through donations, volunteer labor, and temple-related purchases, yet they cannot become fully ordained monks, hold temple leadership positions, or directly participate in most religious ceremonies that their money makes possible. You heard right. Thai women must place offerings on tables for monks to collect rather than handing them directly, creating elaborate theatrical exchanges where spiritual leaders avoid physical contact with the people who literally keep their institutions running. Here's the most absurd part. Wealthy businesswomen who donate millions to build new temple buildings cannot personally present their contributions to the head monks, instead requiring male relatives or intermediaries to perform ceremonies funded entirely by female wealth, but celebrating male religious authority. Wait until you find out the daily logistics. Temple kitchens are staffed entirely by female volunteers who prepare thousands of meals for monks who cannot accept the food directly from women's hands, forcing elaborate serving protocols where every meal becomes a complicated dance of religious segregation. The economic impact reaches beyond temples. Women-owned businesses in temple districts generate massive revenues from religious tourism and pilgrimage activities, yet female entrepreneurs cannot directly negotiate with temple authorities for permits, partnerships, or event approvals, requiring male business partners or representatives for transactions in industries they dominate through their labor and investment. Think this tradition promotes spiritual purity? The system creates practical absurdities where female doctors cannot directly examine sick monks, female architects cannot personally discuss temple construction projects they designed, and female devotees who spend decades supporting temples are treated as obstacles to enlightenment rather than essential partners in religious practice, revealing how patriarchal control systems disguise themselves as spiritual principles while exploiting the very people they marginalize. Thailand's military has staged 19 successful coups since 1932, making it the world's most coup-prone country, yet tourists keep visiting because political instability barely affects beach resorts and shopping districts. You won't believe how normalized military takeovers have become in Thai society. Coups happen so regularly that Bangkok residents joke about coup seasons, and hotels offer special martial law discounts during military transitions, treating government overthrows like predictable weather patterns. The frequency is so extreme that Thailand averages one successful coup every 4.8 years, with military leaders often staging takeovers to prevent other military factions from staging their own coups, creating an endless cycle of preemptive power grabs that have made democratic governance essentially impossible for nearly a century. Here's the surreal part about how business continues. International corporations maintain normal operations throughout coups because military governments prioritize economic stability to maintain legitimacy, meaning tourists can get arrested for political protests while shopping malls and beach clubs operate normally under tanks and armed soldiers. The economic impact is bizarrely minimal because Thailand's economy is so dependent on tourism and exports that military governments immediately reassure foreign investors and maintain all tourist services, creating situations where visitors sunbathe on beaches while martial law is declared in the capital city just hours away. Wait until you find out the international response. Foreign governments issue travel warnings that tourists completely ignore, and tourism numbers often increase during coups because hotel prices drop, while services remain unchanged, making political instability accidentally beneficial for budget travelers who want luxury accommodations at discount rates. You heard right, some travel blogs actually recommend visiting Thailand during coups because you get better exchange rates, lower prices, and fewer crowds at popular attractions, with the military actively protecting tourist areas to maintain foreign currency flows that fund their operations. The most disturbing aspect is how this normalization has made Thais incredibly passive about democracy. Opinion polls show that 60% of citizens prefer military governments during economic downturns, and many view coups as necessary corrections to civilian government corruption rather than violations of democratic principles. Think this instability will eventually hurt tourism? Thailand's tourism industry has grown consistently through every coup since 1970, proving that political chaos and tropical vacation experiences operate in completely separate realms where military takeovers become just another exotic element of the Thai experience for visitors who photograph soldiers in the same casual way they photograph elephants and temples. Thailand has the world's highest rate of facial plastic surgery per capita, with over 500,000 procedures annually in a country obsessed with Korean beauty standards. Yet traditional Thai features are being systematically erased by surgical westernization. Sounds like cultural suicide through scalpels, but Thai beauty clinics perform more cosmetic surgeries relative to population size than South Korea, Brazil, or the United States, with procedures focused on creating double eyelids, narrower noses, and lighter skin tones that eliminate distinctive Southeast Asian characteristics. The obsession has reached such extremes that 15-year-old girls receive nose jobs as graduation gifts, and beauty loan companies offer financing specifically for teenagers to undergo facial reconstruction before entering university, creating debt that follows them into adulthood for surgeries that promise better job prospects and marriage opportunities. You heard right, major Thai employers openly discriminate based on appearance, with airlines, department stores, and hotels requiring specific facial features that favor surgically altered looks over natural Thai appearances, making cosmetic surgery an economic necessity rather than personal choice for career advancement. Here's the most disturbing part about the cultural impact. Traditional Thai beauty ideals emphasizing natural features, golden skin tones, and distinctive Asian characteristics are being replaced by homogenized Korean pop star aesthetics that make young Thai women look increasingly identical and less recognizably Thai. Wait until you find out the medical risks. Thailand's cosmetic surgery industry is largely unregulated, with thousands of unlicensed practitioners offering dangerous procedures at discount prices, leading to infection rates 300% higher than international standards and permanent disfigurement cases that often go unreported to protect the industry's medical tourism reputation. The psychological damage is equally severe. Studies show that 70% of Thai women express dissatisfaction with their natural facial features by age 16, and suicide rates among teenagers who cannot afford desired surgeries have increased 40% over the past decade as social media amplifies appearance-based discrimination. Think this trend will reverse naturally? The beauty surgery industry now generates $4.8 billion annually and actively markets to children through social media campaigns that present facial reconstruction as normal self-improvement, while traditional Thai cultural representations in media are being replaced by surgically altered models who promote Korean beauty standards as superior to authentic Thai appearances. The most tragic irony is that foreign tourists visit Thailand partly to experience authentic Asian culture and beauty, yet they increasingly encounter a population that has surgically modified itself to look less Asian and more like idealized versions of Korean celebrities, creating a country that is literally cutting away its own ethnic identity in pursuit of artificial beauty standards imported from cultures that have their own self-esteem epidemics. Thailand operates a massive organ trafficking network where, impoverished citizens end up selling kidneys for just $2,000 to $5,000 to wealthy foreigners. These foreigners, by the way, pay anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 for those same organs. The hospitals, they keep the majority of the profits, while donors often die from post-surgical complications. This is, honestly, Thailand's darkest secret that the government desperately tries to hide from international scrutiny. Rural Thai villagers, especially in the northeastern provinces, are systematically exploited by organ brokers. These brokers target families with crushing debt and offer kidney sales as the only escape from, generational poverty. The price disparity is, just obscene. Desperate Thai donors receive roughly 2 to 4% of what wealthy patients pay, while hospitals, brokers, and corrupt officials pocket the remaining 96% of profits from transactions that treat human organs like, basically, wholesale commodities. Here's the most horrifying part about the targeting brokers specifically recruit in villages hit by crop failures, natural disasters, or medical emergencies. They prey on families who face losing their homes, or watching loved ones die for lack of medical funds, making organ sales feel like, really, the only moral choice for desperate parents. You won't believe the scale of international complicity. Patients from Japan, China, Saudi Arabia, and other wealthy countries arrive on so-called medical tourism packages that include organ transplants with waiting times of just 2 to 4 weeks. That's compared to 3 to 7 years in their home countries, and it really indicates that organs are being harvested on demand from live donors rather than deceased patients. Wait until you find out the medical reality for donors. Rural Thai kidney sellers have mortality rates 15 times higher than donors in regulated Western programs. Many die from infections, inadequate post-operative care, or complications from procedures performed by underqualified surgeons in substandard facilities that, honestly, prioritize speed and profit over patient safety. The most damning evidence comes from investigative reports showing that organ brokers maintain networks of debt collectors who actually identify vulnerable families. Then, they offer kidney sales as debt relief, while failing to mention that donors often become permanently disabled, unable to work, and trapped in even worse poverty than before their surgeries. You heard right. The same families who sell kidneys to escape poverty often end up deeper in debt due to medical complications and lost earning capacity, while wealthy recipients return to their countries with healthy organs and never learn about the human cost of their medical tourism. The cover-up extends to international levels. Thai hospitals market themselves as world-class medical destinations while hiding the fact that their organ supply chains depend on exploiting the country's most vulnerable citizens. And foreign governments look the other way, because addressing organ trafficking would expose their own citizens as participants in a system that treats poor Thai bodies as spare parts for wealthy foreigners. Think this sounds too evil to be widespread? Conservative estimates suggest that over 10,000 Thai citizens have sold organs in the past decade, with the industry generating over $500 million annually in profits that enrich corrupt medical networks while leaving a trail of disabled donors, devastated families, and covered-up deaths. This represents the ultimate expression of economic inequality where the poor literally sell pieces of themselves to survive, while the wealthy buy extended lifespans with money that could have addressed the poverty driving desperate people to such extreme measures. So we've just discovered Thailand's most shocking secrets. From organ trafficking and beauty surgery obsessions to military coups and economic contradictions. Which one disturbed you the most? Have you ever witnessed Thailand's hidden realities behind the tourist facade? Subscribe for more eye-opening truths that travel brochures won't tell you.